Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're having a good Saturday. If you're not a member of my How to Make Money from Stock Alert Services Facebook group, there'll be a link in the description below for you to come and join. I think it's a great place if you're not already in there to just talk to other people that are members of services and follow along with some of the different things that people are doing with different alert services. I think there's over 6,000 odd, nearly 7,000 members now, so it's a pretty active group. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about Raging Bull and Bullseye Trades a lot, and recently we've started to talk about something that I really wanted to recommend to people. It's causing a bit of a stir and a bit of a controversy though because of the topic. So it's about crypto. Even though the strategy that's being taught in this particular webinar, which is coming up on Tuesday, isn't actually specifically for crypto, it's causing a lot of people to react kind of aggressively towards it, should I say. That's a nice way of saying it. So I sent out the first email to get you guys to go and check out this webinar. If you're not on my email list, you probably should be, and I can leave a link in the description below so I can keep you updated on the different things that I found. And this is one of the latest ones that I found by a guy called Scott, and he is a legitimate guy from what I can see. So the story behind Scott is about a week or two ago, one of my friends was in one of these elite mastermind groups where you have to make $1 million a year. You have to pay $40,000 a year or something ridiculous to be in that group. Recommended that I check Scott out and talk to him, so I did. I jumped on a Zoom call with Scott and he showed me his strategies for crypto. He blew me away with how simply he explained his strategy and how well it seems to have worked for the last few years. Despite the fact that a lot of things have influenced the price of crypto and Forex and stocks over the last 5 years, the strategy that he teaches seems to have been pretty consistent, and he convinced me enough to get you guys to check out his free webinar. And I'm really glad I checked it out because after I talked to him for about an hour, I went through and watched his webinar from start to finish, and I was actually pretty blown away with how convincing this guy is. And how much actual free stuff he gives away in the webinar. A lot of the times you'll join these free webinars, right, and they'll say they're giving a training, and then it'll be some basically a sales pitch. And this one actually is by far the most value in the free webinar that I've ever seen. And bear in mind, I've done this type of thing every day for 5 to 10 years now, checking out different services and looking at different things like that. So this, when it says a free workshop here, this really is a free workshop. And I'm not getting paid to send out these emails. And so this is actually something I really think you guys will get value from if you go and check out. Now, I think it's important here not to get caught up in the fact that it's crypto and the fact that there's very salesy copy here. And so a lot of people make this mistake where they're like, they look at something and because it's very salesy, they think, it's a scam. And then when you add crypto or Forex or something into the mix, it's very easy for people with closed mindsets to think, this is just a scam. Russell's trying to scam us in some way. And I'm not. I'm just trying to direct you to things that I find value in. And I have to say the hour or so webinar that I went to, which he does live. So this guy, he works every day. He's doing a live webinar, and he's done one, he's set one up for Tuesday this coming week, dedicated to the people in my audience, which is awesome. So he's going to be live, actually live, answering questions. Not quite sure if I'm going to be joining him yet. Probably will be, but it's still up in the air. I'll see if I can make it. And I think part of the problem here is when I sent out an email this morning, people saw the headline, which was how to make up to $2,000 a day in just 6 minutes using a secret crypto salary system. And again, you've got to be careful. So you've got to realize these people want to sell their knowledge. It doesn't mean they're not good at what they do. They just want to have another business as well. You make $1 million trading a year, wouldn't you want to do another million and showing people how to do it? I mean, that doesn't mean it's a scam. And so this is a constant battle for me. I'm always getting called a scammer or something like this, when in reality, a lot of this stuff is just good quality stuff that I try and get in front of you guys. So if you got the email this morning, or you see me posting or watching this video, if you don't want to buy anything when you go to this webinar, don't buy anything. From what I can see, it's a very soft sell at the end. I think he tries to sell some one-on-one coaching. If you're not completely convinced, do not buy it. You'll get so much value from this free webinar that I really encourage you to go just for that. And when I sent out this email this morning, I got quite a bit of weird responses. And one of them that I just wanted to point out is this guy Bob. So he sent me back this weird, like, one-line thing. Wow, you must be desperate pushing this crap. You've lost all credibility now. So first of all, Bob, if you're watching this, I'm not desperate in the least. This is a free webinar. Like, you'll learn everything you need to know to do mean reversion in crypto and why it's best done in crypto and Forex, as opposed to the more efficient markets like the stock market. It can be easily applied to the stock market, but it's just a little bit more of an edge when you take an inefficient market like crypto. And Scott does a great job working through the webinar. So when I responded to this email saying, hey, why are you reacting so badly to this? You have no clue what you're talking about. Just didn't get a response. So hopefully this guy unsubscribes from my email list, because, you know, it's not fun trying to put things like this in front of people only to get this type of like abusive response. And it happens daily to me, so I'm used to it. But it's also something I'm just kind of like, you know what? Go and learn about this stuff. Go to the webinar and then come back at me and say, hey, you've lost all credibility now. You know, it's just nonsense. These people with closed mindsets, you need to open up your mindset and just check things out. There's no harm going to a webinar, checking it out. And in this case, I promise you there's value in the webinar. I've watched it, I've talked to Scott for over an hour, and the guy is the real deal. So yeah, let's go through roughly what he talks about. So the part of it is the headline is quite hypey, right? So $500 to $2,000 a day. Obviously, you've got to be using significant capital to do that, right? Because like not everybody's going to go in with $50 and make $2,000 a day. The 6 minutes is legit. It's a swing, well not a swing, it's a day trading strategy, but basically you only spend a few minutes setting your orders and then you walk away and it either goes up or down, and your orders either get closed at the stop or they get filled for a nice win. And it has a 2-to-1 ratio, so for every dollar you risk, you are set to gain $2, and the orders only take a few minutes to set in. So this 6 minutes idea, just to place a day trade on a mean reversion setup, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty simple little setup he has. It takes a while to learn, like there's no shortcut here. You actually have to go through all the charts, which he does in the webinar. He goes through a ton of charts. Then he sends out, after the webinar, he sends out like all the notes, so that if you weren't able to keep up in the webinar, you've got it all ready to go. So this strategy is fairly simple. It uses very simple technicals like Bollinger Bands, with a couple of caveats that kind of is like the secret sauce, which has really helped like improve the system. And so the main point here is like, don't let the sales copy and things put you off sometimes. Sure, there's scams out there, but often there's things that are actually like kind of hidden gems that have the potential to change how you make money, and people just ignore them. I like Bob from earlier on the email, just being like, this is a scam. It's like, so yeah, so this is the link to the live webinar on January 17th, so 3 days from now. Just go through what you'll discover on this training, a simple and easy system. It is simple and easy, but it takes practice to get it going, like I just said. $2,000 a day, that's asking a bit much. You'd have to use the same position sizes that Scott's using, which are fairly large. He makes about $1 million a year trading this strategy, so anybody that knows what they're doing with crypto trading will realize that $2,000 a day is with larger position sizes, right? So you got to take this with a pinch of salt. Again, this is a marketing team that puts this together, and I think it's important people realize the person behind the trading isn't the person putting together the marketing. So you've got to bear that in mind when you see some of this stuff. It works on crypto, and you don't really need to know how crypto works, but it also works on stocks as well. It's a day trading strategy, but it's not a crackhead day trading strategy where you sit there and like have to scalp things. It's literally place your orders and then go and chill. And it's actually better to place your orders and just forget about it, because crypto is so volatile that, you know, if you're sitting there watching every 1 minute candle, you're going to freak out. So it's not easy, but it is doable. What I really like about this though is you actually learn stuff on it, and the bonuses that he sends out is also are very valuable. So it's something I think it's definitely worth checking out. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to go and sign up for Tuesday. I'm hoping that enough people will sign up to make it worth Scott's time to actually do this. It is live. He does lives every day, and you know, through my mutual friend with him, we're like, okay, well, maybe Russell can put this in front of his YouTube, his email, his Facebook audience, see if they're interested in it. So hopefully you guys get some value from it and learn something. I know I did. Learned a very, very nice way to use the Bollinger Bands with a very high probability of success. So what's interesting about his strategy, though, is, as you'll learn on the webinar, is he only wins about 50% of the time. But because of the 2-to-1 ratio, his losses are half the size of his wins. And he really emphasizes this as a way to actually make money rather than trying to win like 90% of the time or whatever. So I really liked the webinar, and Scott comes across really well. I talked to him, like I said, for a while. I wanted to make sure that because it's crypto and because of the very salesy copy, I wanted to make sure that I vetted him as best as I could, and I really like the guy. I think he's legit, and I think he's got something interesting to say. Whether you're a crypto trader, forex trader, stock trader, or futures trader, I think there's something to learn in this webinar, and you really don't have much to lose from attending. And I think you'll like this stuff. So yeah, and so I posted on Facebook like that I put out this email. And that I do think that it's worth the free webinar. There is a soft sales pitch at the end for further coaching. Honestly, it's up to you. I can't give you the advice whether you take him up on that offer or not, but from what I'm seeing in the free training, I really like what I'm seeing. So hopefully you guys will find this interesting and useful. And yeah, so alright guys, make sure you attend. I'll put a link in the description below, and you can check this out on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. I think Eastern time. Alright guys, have a good one.